I see so many guys who are just lost. Like, I was like that myself. I felt like I was a good person, but I wasn't a good man. I didn't seem to fit into the stereotypical, what we consider manly nowadays. Do you think that's where modern men struggle? We don't have rites of passage. We don't have clearly defined boundaries between childhood to, because of like such an easy life, technology, abundance of food and that sort of thing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in many cases, they're actually encouraged not to become masculine, and they're told that masculinity is bad, and that becoming a man isn't a thing. It's just that it's just a fake, imaginary thing, and if that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if you believe that, it's actually true. But I think that we all deal with that reality of that the world is not inclined to push us to be more masculine. So I think that one of the things I've been talking about and writing about my new book is that that is a choice. And if you decide that being masculine is something that's important to you, that's your value, and you can't expect affirmation from the rest of the world from it. But you can still push yourself to be as masculine as you can be within the parameters that are allowed to you, basically, by society, which is unfortunate that there aren't a lot of parameters. There isn't a lot of room for masculine men in society, but you can't expect society to think about things the way you do. And that's always a failing answer, I think, in life, is that waiting for society to approve of whatever you do.
And that's the thing, is nowadays we look to other people for permission to do what we want in life. It's like or do what's acceptable, and sadly nowadays it seems to be watching garbage TV, drinking yourself into stupors, taking drugs to hide the pain. So how can we recreate these kind of rituals? You hear these tribesmen who have to go into the jungle and hunt a certain thing, or they have to go away by themselves. There's all these kind of what we see as out there, rituals to manhood. How can we recreate that in our plushy lives? How can we become men again?
Well, there's kind of an organic way that you can do that in terms of, which is not decisive. The thing about ritual is that it's decisive. That kind of initiation is decisive. You start at one side and you end on the other side. And with most people are not going to be able to find that. So what you have to do really is push yourself into situations that you're uncomfortable with, and slowly you do become more confident in your own way from doing that. Whether it's like taking martial arts and getting punched in the face a lot, or pushing yourself to compete in something you weren't really comfortable doing. That kind of stuff. Going out and kind of making different kinds of friends than maybe you have, people who aren't going to necessarily support your weakness and are only going to be impressed by your strength. Those kinds of things, you can kind of have your own initiation in that way. But I think a real initiation really comes from a tribe or a group of people, really an honor group. And so you need that honor group. You need a bunch of other people who are aligned on the same values to really make that transformation happen. And then, as they accept you into their group, or if you're creating your own group, then you have to set that up. You have to have a barrier for entry to people. So on the other side of this group, on the other side of this initiation, you're outside, and now you're part of us. And here are our values, and you have to work to show those values to get to the inside. And I think that that's something that you have to go through. And a lot of us have to go through it as adults. I mean, people do it in like fraternities and things like that. But I think those, as much as they say they're forever, I think they're very temporary. It seems like for most people, they join a fraternity in college, and then, if they just have a drinking buddy who is in the same fraternity every so often for the rest of their lives, it's not like, I don't think it's not a complete tribe in the way that they're completely committed to each other forever. Yeah. But they do have those kind of initiatory experiences for people that they can still go through. But I think that you really need a really solid group of people who are really on the same page to kind of put you through, to kind of haze you a little bit. And I don't like hazing in the sense of I personally, I'm not into the let's be ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous, and let's just make fun of somebody. Let's just I'm not really into that. That personally, I don't like the like embarrassing people as part of a process. I'd like intentional processes in which they're forced to confront their own weakness. I think is much more useful personally.